Hello, hello, and welcome to our week ahead reading. This is the reading for the week of August 3rd. Hello, welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if you're here for the first time. For these week ahead readings, I tap into the energy of the week ahead to give you an energetic overview of how we might meet the energy of this week, what this week might bring energetically, and then how can we meet it so that whatever the week brings, we can meet it as best as we can. I don't bring forward a ton of astrology. I think astrology is great, but my personal practice has evolved to the point where I don't particularly want to know all the nitty gritty of what's happening. I want to be able to meet the energy of what's happening day to day without going, oh, I know the planets are doing this, so how is it going to impact me? I like to be able to meet it without knowing exactly what's happening, except for the big things, like full moons or new moons or eclipses or things like that. And so that's how I read as well, to offer that same space to you if you are here with me. I do want to take a moment actually and acknowledge one thing too, which is that you may notice that I am wearing the same thing that I was wearing in last week's week ahead reading, which is not typical. I actually, up until now, I have normally done these week ahead readings a day or two before they come out, and I am traveling for a while, so I am doing these more in advance than I usually do and kind of testing it out even, so maybe I will continue to do them more in advance, but I am actually doing these readings together, tapping into the next few weeks to bring them out to you. And the reason I share that with you is because often when I'm doing the week ahead readings, I am right on the precipice of the new week with you. You know, I've already lived through the energy of the week beforehand. And so, yeah, I'm right there with you. In this case, for these readings, I have not lived through the week yet for you, like the week that's right before the week I'm reading for with you. And so I don't know how that might shift the readings a little bit. Who knows? It may or may not, but you know, I think it's kind of interesting. It's something that I'm interested to see how the week ahead readings shift with a little bit more like further back from the week as I'm reading it for us, and then meeting it a little later when we actually get to the week, and you will be receiving this the week itself. But anyway, just a little interesting tidbit, side note. I just wanted to address that and let you know that, yeah, I'm actually doing these readings still under the basket formation in the sky. So we're still in this, like when I'm actually doing this live, we are still in the kind of big activation of our big July basket astrological configuration. But anyway, let's go on to the week of August 3rd. So the only thing astrology wise that I want to point out this week is that actually on August 3rd, Chiron, I think it's August 3rd, let me double check that, yeah. Chiron turns retrograde. So Chiron entered Taurus in June. Yeah, I think that's right, in June. Because I actually, here in real time, I'm like, I actually haven't been paying too much attention. But yes, Chiron entered Taurus, and it's only there for like 3 months in this year, and then it will retrograde back into Aries, and we have a few months left, like fall and winter of Chiron in Aries, where it's been for quite a while, like 7 or 8 years, and then it will move into Taurus for good next spring, and then we'll have like a longer transit of Chiron in Taurus. So we've gotten a little bit of a little insight into Chiron and Taurus, and now Chiron moves retrograde on August 3rd and starts making its way back to Aries. I think it hits Aries in September. I think that's when we go back into Chiron and Aries, but I'm not sure of the date. And also, it doesn't totally matter, really, right? We're living in the energy of it in real time. And I'm sure I will name it when we actually get to it, and I'll let you know, this is the week that it's happening. But yeah, it's just interesting. We've had this little like tidbit of what healing and homecoming we might be going through with Chiron and Taurus, because Chiron is an asteroid that rules our healing, right? It's the wounded healer. It shows us the places of us, of our journey, of our inner selves, of our internal and external self, that may be calling us to meet it and bring healing towards those parts of ourselves, right? And in different signs, it impacts us differently. So we've had our little overview of Chiron and Taurus. We're moving back towards Chiron and Aries to wrap up that story. Chiron and Aries has been quite the journey. I think Chiron moved into Aries in 2018, and then I think 2018, and then it retrograded, and then it came back in 2019. I think that is the right sequence of events there. And that's been quite a few. That's been like these last few years, 2018, 2019 to 2026, 2027 when Chiron fully moves out of Aries. That's been quite the period of time. I know for me, like, wow, those are some of the most impactful, deeply healing years of my life. And that makes a lot of sense with where Chiron in Aries, what house it hits in my chart. But I also have noticed that as a theme in a lot of my one-on-one work as well. Like the Chiron and Aries years have been massive for many people in terms of healing. And so I just want to name that. We're coming back very soon to finish up that story. Okay, enough astrology. Let me tell you our energy of the week ahead. Show you the runes and the animal medicine that we have for this week. So our first rune is Lagus, and it's upside down. Lagus is a rune of intuition and love. It's ruled by the Norse god Loki, who is a trickster god. And Lagus upside down is reminding us to use our intuition and to keep our heart, like love, keep your heart open, but use discernment. Make sure you're not being tricked. Very interesting. So there is an intuitive energy this week, but discernment's big, right? Then we have, actually no, before I give you the next rune, I want to show you the animal. We have Swan. Swan is the medicine of grace. And Swan, the story of Swan in the medicine book is very, very long, so I'm not going to read all of it to you, but I'm going to give you the essence of it. The story of Swan is Swan's journey from little baby Swan, the kind of ugly duckling of Swan, who meets the dream, the great mystery, and is given the choice. Do you want to surrender to the great mystery and learn how to listen to your intuition and listen to spirit? So here's our Lagus. And I just dropped Lagus, and every now and then when I drop runes like that, I always take that as the rune really saying, yeah, pay attention to me. Let's grab that rune back. That's how my runes communicate with me, and it actually dropped still upside down, which is interesting. But anyway, so Swan, baby Swan, is given the opportunity. Do you want to meet the dream time? Do you want to meet the great mystery? And therefore the future, your intuition, your ability to connect in to the elements of what is and what is to come and what is unseen. But if you do choose to do this, then you have to surrender essentially your ego. Surrender to grace. This is where grace comes in with Swan. Will you surrender to grace and allow grace to shape you? Allow grace to shape you into, in a sense, your highest self, so that you can truly accept these gifts and learn to use these intuitive gifts from a place of grace, from a place of balance, from a place of integrity. And Swan says yes. And the next time that we meet Swan, Swan is in Swan's beautiful full form, right? This beautiful regal Swan, because Swan has allowed grace to shape her or him. And grace, the shaping of grace has allowed Swan to truly own its vision and intuition, to see beyond the illusion, to learn how to live in that state of acceptance, in that state of grace, in that state of heart, right? And that's Lagus again, because I'm going to show you up right side up. Lagus is love, and it's intuition, but it's love. And that, like, that state of grace, that surrender of grace, that acceptance of grace is something that we meet when we're open, when our heart is open, right? It is related to heart and love as well. Swan medicine teaches us to be at one with all planes of consciousness and to trust in Great Spirit's protection. But in order to be in one with Great Spirit's consciousness and in protection, we have to be willing to surrender that which isn't of that highest consciousness. And to the extent that we can, right? Of course, we're human. So this is not like surrender, you're human. This is learning to live in that state of grace and that state of intuition and that state of being led by spirit. Swan can bring the message of it's a time to connect into altered states of awareness, develop your intuitive abilities. This may be a time where the future becomes clearer, you get clearer visions of the future. A time to surrender to the power of Great Spirit, to accept the healing and transformation of your lifetime, the healing and transformation of the life that you are living. Swan card may be telling you to accept your ability to know what lies ahead. If you're resisting your self-transformation, relax. It will be easier if you go with the flow. Stop denying yourself. Stop denying your self-transformation. Pay attention to your hunches, your gut knowledge, and honor your feminine intuitive side. So Laguz brings on a different meaning here. It's saying it's still about intuition. It's still about love, but upside down, Laguz could also be saying stop working against yourself. Stop working against your intuition. Stop working and denying who you are and denying what you know and denying your gifts. Stop denying yourself. That could be where discernment comes in. Surrender to the grace of Great Spirit. Discern that you're ready for that. Listen to the message of this saying, hey, you're ready. Because what comes next is the Rune Dagas. Dawn. New beginnings. I mean, self-explanatory. Still in harvest season, right? And then Othala, the rune of our community, our tribe, our soul family. Stop denying yourself. Start listening to your intuition. That's a new beginning when you start listening to your intuition and you stop denying yourself. And that brings you closer to, or brings you maybe into connection with, communion with, soul family, soul tribe, new community, or maybe deeper into connection with the soul family, tribes, community that you're already part of. Also ancestors. This is a rune of ancestors, so it could be saying another thing here, stop denying yourself and start accepting the gifts of your ancestors, accepting the intuitive gifts of your ancestors, or the psychic inheritance from your ancestors, whatever it is, right? Everyone's journey with this will be a little different, but this week, that's beautiful. That's powerful. It's like we've just had 2 big weeks. The last 2 weeks of July, powerful. Very big energy moving. There's a lot of action those weeks. This week it's not that there's not action, but action isn't the message. The message is intuition. It's grace. It's a little bit more surrender and stillness. So you can still move in that. You can still move and surrender and so a little bit more stillness. But instead of full speed ahead, it's more really intentionally listening as you move and maybe reclaiming some aspects of yourself that maybe have become clearer in the last couple of weeks. And this is also kind of our breathing week, because next week we move into our first eclipse of this eclipse season. We have 2 eclipses in August and they start next week. And so this week is a little lower energy, which is good. It gives us the ability to kind of breathe and relax and just meet what is here, integrate a little bit, and connect into that state of grace. So I would meditate this week on grace, on surrender, on acceptance, on Swan, on the gifts of your ancestors, on what new beginning is on its way to you, or on what new beginning have you been making the actions, doing the actions to create space for that new beginning. Yeah, the energy of this week is so much calmer. Last week when I was tapping into the last week of July, it was whoo, big fire energy. But this week, this first week of August is rest a little bit this week. Nourish and nurture yourself a bit. It feels like a bit of if it's a wave, it feels like it's a wave, a lull before we're back up and another peak. So allow yourself to have some of that lull energy this week so that you can meet the next peak, whatever that is. All right. And a reminder, again, as we close this out, to come join me in the Elemental Embodiment Journey, that re-released course. The link will be in the show notes for you to grab that course. This is a really great time to be connecting with the elements and embodying your connection to your body, literally. Also, make sure that you are on the wait list for the next round of Love Your Lips, because that will be opening very soon as well. And thank you, as always, for being here with me. And tapping in with the week ahead. Okay, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And the reading is complete. Wishing you a lovely, lovely week.